Welcome back, everyone. Good evening. It is Saturday. At last. I still had work today, so yep, still had to get stuff set up, arriving late, trying to get the stream set up on time. Only 5 minutes late, it's not a big deal. What do we got? So, why is Hyperliquid going up so much? I actually don't even have any news on that. I was scrambling for news. It's mainly all geopolitical stuff, actual political drama between Canada and the US, which we will be discussing today. Some updates on CZ, I guess, what he's been planning. We'll be discussing all of that in tonight's show. So welcome back, everyone. Bitcoin is at 111,413 right now. Slightly on the rise, which is a good thing. Supertrend is also just continuing to rise as well. This would completely invalidate whatever entry I was planning to make at 104,000, so I would cancel it, but I'm just going to leave it there just in case anything. You never know. At this time, yeah, I'm kind of in profit right now. I do not plan on taking the profit just yet. This is really like grabbing my attention right now. What is going on with Hyperliquid? Whale position shifts. Hey, we're overbought. Goodbye, Hyperliquid. Profits taken, 400 in profit. I will be closing this limit order as well. So we're out with Hyperliquid. Bought the bottom, sold to the top. That's the way to do it in the futures market. You can't hold on for positions for too long. If Hyperliquid moons overnight, so be it. But this is a Saturday. There's something going on. So let me see if CoinMarketCap's AI has any specific news about why Hyperliquid is going up. Where did it go? It's number 11, by the way. Hyperliquid is massive. What do we got? Why are we up? Technical breakout, that's garbage. Robinhood listing, we already covered that. S1 filing. What do you mean by S1 filing? Are we talking about ETFs? SEC registered public offering amplified visibility. Hyperliquid strategies 1 billion SEC registered public offering. So listing on mainstream platforms like Robinhood would attract retail liquidity. Yeah, but that's long overdue and nobody's buying crypto on a Saturday. There's clearly something else behind it. Whale activity, strategic expansion. Yeah, I don't know. James Nguyen, of course, is like, I don't know. I don't know what to think of this guy. Have you heard him talk? I'm sorry. I don't want to make fun of how people talk because who knows, maybe this guy genuinely has a vocal defect or I don't know. What would even cause his voice to be like that? Cleft lip. I don't want to be insulting to him. I'm sorry, James Nguyen. But I mean, you got to admit, he's very good at engagement, especially on crypto Twitter. You see his popularity all the time. We see him using Hyperliquid all the time, which that's kind of what got me interested in it as well. Like the fact that James Nguyen or Andrew Tate or, you know, all these big users using Hyperliquid. Allegedly, Barron Trump might be using Hyperliquid as well to insider trade. We hear about these insider whales that we don't know who they are trading on Hyperliquid with these huge amounts of leverage. And the funniest part of all is that all of them, James Nguyen, Andrew Tate, whoever the case may be, they're always getting liquidated on Hyperliquid. So that's pretty funny. But it attracts users to their ecosystem, especially me, because I didn't know what Hyperliquid was until I saw what these guys were doing on this other platform. That's kind of what grabbed my attention to Hyperliquid, and I'm sure it did for a lot of other people. So I don't know, the fact that they're active on it. He placed a 25 million XRP bet. I did see this as well. I don't have the Twitter post pulled up, but just briefly going to talk about it, I guess. He said he was doing a lot of research into XRP and thinks that it's a valuable investment to go into. I would agree, but in like a long-term sense, if we're talking about Hyperliquid, we're talking about perps, right? And that would involve leverage and that would involve short-term trading, which I do not think that XRP would do any good in the short term. Who knows? Maybe one day it'll have its explosive growth, but that's just pure speculation. We've got, what's the guy's name? Chris Larson dumping on us, one of the co-founders. But then another one of the CEOs, I saw another post, explains that he obviously is going to talk good about the XRP project, but something he said that, you know, drove a lot of speculation that XRP might actually be, you know, a worthwhile investment. Why am I looking at the all-time chart? Anyways, I don't know, take that with a grain of salt, really, because CEOs will say whatever to sell their product, of course, right? So, okay, no real reason why we're rising with Hyperliquid. Like Robinhood listing, like I said, that's already happened long ago. We've far covered that. I think, when did that happen? Did it happen yesterday? I don't believe it happened yesterday. I don't remember when I covered the news. It's been a long time. It would have been the day before yesterday when Trump pardoned CZ. Yeah, so we already covered that long ago, and we already reacted to the news. I'm happy I didn't take profit when it was on the rise over here. I was pretty tempted to, but, you know, just shows that holding off sometimes does pay out properly. And I mean, according to the momentum indicator, the RSI, it seems like this might be the top for it. Just a local top. We are still in an uptrend, as we can see with the super trend. So, you know, that should ideally like continue forward as time moves on, and, you know, we would have our uptrend kind of moving up like this. So you could see continuation of the movement in Hyperliquid's prices, but, you know, there's going to be a pullback inevitably, right? This is not really anything specifically driving this movement upwards right now. Nothing that I could find, at least. I could be wrong. I could check Twitter maybe just to see why Hyperliquid is rising. We could technically do that right now. Hyperliquid. By the way, this is exactly what I was talking about. Is Google listening to me? Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says, I'm reminding you all that XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does. Lock in. So he kind of said these kinds of words of encouragement. And for whatever reason, Ripple completes Hidden Road acquisition, rebrands as Ripple Prime. What? Anyway, no, that's not what we're here to talk about, but just suspicious that we were slightly discussing that and it just comes up first thing. Whatever. Coinbase listing. That might be what's driving the speculation. Hype is the fastest horse. That's an old post. Your first Hyperliquid buy at the top. Are you serious? Well, this is who you're trading against, by the way. Yeah, there's no real reason. There's no real reason. Max shorting Hyperliquid there. Well, you just got hyperliquidated, I'm afraid. Moving on, guys. We're not going to talk about news just yet. We're here to talk about technical analysis. So this is my view on Hyperliquid. Yeah, the uptrend will continue, of course. Supertrend still has not decided on which specific level to slow down at, but it's kind of the projection that I'm seeing for the upcoming few days. Have we bottomed out? I think we have, honestly. What's the real reason why we should be dropping? I really don't see any good reasons for dropping. And I kind of discussed it yesterday when some of you guys discussed, like, yeah, we might, you know, shorting the market. I don't think it's a good idea right now, to be honest. You could get lucky, of course, and, you know, an unprecedented turn of events, things can crash markets, right? That's typically what happens. Crypto is a very volatile ecosystem, so that can happen. I'm not ruling it out completely. But, you know, if nothing does happen, what should the trajectory be? And in my opinion, that is upwards. So we'll see where it goes. That's all for Hyperliquid talk. Let's move on to Ethereum. 0% movement today, still 3,925. Yeah, no big changes here. 4,000 is your resistance. And supports really don't have much, honestly, except the 3,670, which I was lucky enough to snipe that exact price, by the way. And it dropped my average price from 4,000 to 3,761. That was powerful. I'm really proud of that one. So, nonetheless, we are still in a downtrend for Ethereum, but I'm sure that would change soon, especially considering the super trend is on its way down finally. So, that should kind of stabilize, balance what the trends should look like for Ethereum. But you do have a clear support at 3,670 approximately. So, for now, the downtrend prevails, and a drop to that area would be what's likely. No lower than that, because, or maybe it can be lower. What technical analysis does say is that the more the price hits a support or a resistance, whatever level it may be, the more likely it is for it to break out. I kind of disagree. Did you see what happened with Cardano when it was hitting that 50 cents like 5 times in a row? I'll look at Cardano for once. I don't typically look at it, but I mean, I used to typically look at it, but you know, not after this. Anyway, let me go to, I think I'll go to a daily chart. Do I have to use USDC? No, we're good. No, we're not good. I mean USDT. ADA USDT. All right, here we go. What I'm talking about is, yeah, literally this. We had this 50 cents that we dropped as a support multiple times. On February 3rd, that was tariff day, right? April 7, also tariff day. And 22nd of June, World War III day. Well, that's what we thought, because that's when the United States attacked Iran, right? So 3 times we hit that support perfectly. And then, you know, what support? Whenever there's a huge liquidation of it. See, this is why it doesn't make much sense. On, like, looking at an asset like Cardano, sure, we dropped to 50 cents 3 times in a row. And then when we have a reason to drop, that's not really a good enough excuse of a reason. We dropped to like 27 cents, and it's like, okay, what are we doing here? But it still seems like this uptrend, as crazy as it may seem, is still the one that's valid if we're looking at Cardano in the long term. So, you know, it's technically still there. Wouldn't expect too much more downside from Cardano from here. 64 cents. Yep. I don't remember if I had Cardano and got liquidated on it. I probably did. I just want to see if it shows the trademarking on here. No, it does not. No, I probably exited Cardano's position. Or maybe not. I don't even know. But nobody survived this liquidation. Nobody survived any liquidation on any altcoin on October 10. So that's just out of the question. What else do we have? Solana, 192.43. 0% movement as well today. So Fidelity launch Sparks ETF Rush. Fidelity might be launching an ETF apparently. I mean, we already know XRP ETF, Cardano ETF, Solana ETF, those were supposed to come out already, but they haven't because of the government shutdown. The SEC is not working, they can't approve it, but when the government shutdown ends, this is what I'm hoping for at this time, because I kind of don't want the government shutdown to continue any further. We already reaped the benefits from it. The labor market took a hit, and that is good for rate cut odds in our favor. The fact that we will see rate cuts for the end of this year. So that's good for the markets, but, you know, think of the long term. Think of how much it's going to hurt the economy, right? Something's going to have to happen. And also, like, we're delaying ETFs, and I don't really like that. So, you know, and the government shutdown, give us our ETFs, or give them the ETFs so they can boost my bags, rather. And we would all live in paradise. So, yeah. Still in a downtrend, though, for Solana, and the 203 level has not changed for our invalidation zone. So, that means, in the meantime, just have to, whatever, adjust it, the downtrend to wherever seems appropriate. I do think a breakout is coming pretty soon, though, for Solana. It doesn't deserve to be sub 200. I'm seeing some meme coins, especially on Solana, starting to make a good recovery. So we'll see. Solana is just a matter of time. Plasma, I took profit on it yesterday, and it seems like it was the wrong move. I took profits on it way too early. I thought it was hyperliquid that I took profits on. No, it was on plasma. But like I said before, you can't hold a position too long on plasma. It's very inflationary. You'll lose value over time. So just, you know, trade bounces, I guess, or swings. I shouldn't say bounces. You get the point. No big change with plasma before I move on. 38.60 is the current price. Still in a downtrend. It invalidates at 42 if we are able to break that. We'll have a trend reversal. BitTensor is up 3% today. Doesn't look like a huge change on the charts. Tau, yeah, it's a very volatile coin. In terms of percentages, right, it moves really good. So it's good for trading. Entries on it, I don't plan on it yet. I'm waiting for a good level. So no changes on BitTensor. And we'll have new pivot levels for support and resistance by tomorrow. So I'll give you guys an update on that when we do get it. Just an expectation as to how far we can see the prices move, right? It goes for all assets. Chainlink is on the rise. It had an early trend reversal, so that was good overall. We have this uptrend going on and validates at 1683. The current price is 1776. What happened 1776? I know Alex Jones talks about. Is that the independence of America? Is that when America was invented? Hold on. Yeah, adoption declaration of independence, July 4 United States. I was right. That was just coincidental. I don't know. It just came up. $17.76. I'm like, oh, I heard of that number before. Anyway. Wow, going to test my knowledge here. Same thing with Chainlink in terms of like government shutdown. If we want to see Chainlink benefit, end of the government shutdown, give us economic data so that we can make Chainlink have a purpose, right? It's kind of my view on it. So yeah, I want government shutdown over. SUI, $2.50. Kind of underwhelming for an asset like SUI to have like no movement. It feels like it's no movement, but to be fair, we are still in this downtrend, so we're stuck. It invalidates at 270, so we're 20 cents off. And this projection never happened. I wanted it to like make a dip first to 227 around this area where we have a support, so it could you know, increase my exposition into SUI. I still like it, even though it did this thing to us, dropping to 50 cents. Like, come on. But yeah, it's still genuinely a good project and it's got a good future. So for short term, I say short term, but like for the next couple months, for the rest of the cycle rather, SUI will be a better performer than something like XRP, and I've done the comparison before. So just keep that in mind. And Aptos as well, if you want an alternative to SUI, it's same deal. They're practically going to have the same kind of movements here. 350 is where we do have a very important resistance on Aptos, both a trend reversal and a breakout of, you know, previous historical supports. That's going to be good for Aptos, of course, if we break the 350. From here, support is basically $3, anywhere close to $3. And then worst case scenario, 279. I don't think we're going to go that low, but, you know, I have my order there just in case we do. That's all we have for our assets of analysis today. Let's move on to the news, because we do have some stuff to talk about, so we'll get to it. First things first. Oh. Well, again, talking about XRP. XRP targets 345 as Ripple's CEO fuels bullish momentum. I know we're talking about Brad Garlinghouse here, but on the other hand, Chris Larson is still dumping his XRP. And I've covered that news as well. I think I have, right? So it's like, okay. They're telling us one thing, and then, you know, behind the scenes, they're just selling off. It's kind of my take on whatever's going on with XRP. Okay, that's enough XRP talk for today. Should I even look at the chart? I have not looked at XRP chart in a while, so I'll do it some justice. Oh, there we go. We're up 2% today. I wonder why. Yeah, trend reversal's there. Hey, that's good for XRP, I guess. 259. Still cheap. And it is overbought right now. Hey, if you did buy the dip on XRP, especially at around like 220, sub 230, we'll say. If you bought this dip over here, or even lucky enough to get a hold of this, 118, imagine. Well, yeah, now's a good time to take profit. No, not financial advice, but, you know, if I had XRP around over here, that's a profit-taking zone for me. So do with that information whatever you want. Moving on, no more XRP. Ban. Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada, he says that the decades-long process of an ever closer economic relationship with the United States is now over. We'll discuss why. As a consequence, many of our former strengths as a country, more particularly our economic strengths based on close ties to America, have now become our vulnerabilities. Well, I did not elect. You guys elected this man to stand up against Trump and get a trade deal done. And we're failing at that. I'm not going to say we. I should stop including myself. I did not vote for this guy. Just saying. Washing my hands from all these issues, although I am still suffering the consequences as a Canadian citizen. So, this is rough. Anyway, we'll see though. Reason why we're cutting relations, kind of, so to speak, is because of something also that, okay, I'll admit I voted for Doug Ford, but he's a conservative from the Conservative Party, but clearly a traitor. He favors Mark Carney over Pierre Poilievre, if you care about Canadian politics at all. He's basically, you know, favoring the other party instead of his own party, right? The premier of this province, Ontario. Trump accuses Canada of dishonesty, claiming that we have made a crooked ad and played dirty by airing it during the World Series. So there's an ad that was released, which we'll be discussing. Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, screwed up the trade negotiations and still managed to find a way to make things work. Worse, not work. He's bigger POS than Jagmeet Singh. That guy's gone, though. We don't got to worry about Jagmeet. Trump was talking about Canada, saying that they cheated on a commercial. If you're wondering what the commercial was about, it's Ronald Reagan basically talking about tariffs and supposedly coming off as being anti-tariff. And then they're comparing that with Trump. Like, look, Ronald Reagan was anti-tariff. Why does Trump do the opposite of what Ronald Reagan does? For whatever reason. I didn't personally watch the ad, but basically from what I'm seeing, it was like a black and white thing. I could probably look it up, right? Right? Enter. Let's see. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. I have like this pic. Okay, I'm assuming it's this one. Yeah, I guess they were quoting Ronald Reagan. Where is it? Where's the ad? I want to see the actual ad. Unless it is that footage. I don't think it was. Okay, here's the ad. Do I have to play the audio, I guess? When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting America. So they're basically... Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's basically just edited audio of what Ronald Reagan is talking about in tariffs and then just overlaying some other footage on top of that. And, you know, modifying the audio to make it seem like he was opposing tariffs or whatever. Trump says that Ronald Reagan loved tariffs, and they said he didn't. And I guess it was AI or something. They cheated badly. Canada got caught cheating on a commercial. Can you believe it? That's what Trump remarked on that. And he ended off by saying, I can play dirtier than they can. Kind of threatening this little, ooh, what's going to happen next? And this happened this morning, by the way. This is like very early in the morning. Trump said that he stands by his decision to end trade negotiations with Canada over an ad made by Ontario's government that used selective audio of former President Ronald Reagan. And he posted this on Truth Social. Canada was caught red-handed putting up a fraudulent advertisement on Ronald Reagan's speech on tariffs. The Reagan Foundation said that they created an ad campaign using selective audio and video of President Ronald Reagan. The ad misinterprets the presidential radio address and did not seek nor receive permission to use and edit the remarks. The Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute is reviewing its legal options in this matter. What are they going to copy strike them? DMCA? What is going on here? The sole purpose of this fraud was Canada's hope that the United States Supreme Court will come to their rescue on tariffs that they have used for years to hurt the United States. More on this later, by the way, the Supreme Court. Now the United States is able to defend itself against high and overbearing Canadian tariffs, and those from the rest of the world as well. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs for purposes of national security and the economy, but Canada said he didn't. Their advertisement was to be taken down immediately, but they let it run last night during the World Series. I don't know what they mean by World Series. Is that baseball? What is World Series? I'm not a true American. I'm looking this up here. Yeah, it is baseball. I mean, it's a big thing right now. I'm hearing a lot about, you know, the Blue Jays, the team in Toronto, actually performing pretty well. So, you know, I have some family members, some cousins who are huge fans, and some of other friends, people I know that are also, you know, always talking about it. Even people at my work, like, oh, you're a Blue Jays fan? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't follow them much, but I guess, like, if I was to support a baseball team, sure, it would probably be the Blue Jays, because it's from Toronto, you know. So they aired that ad during the Blue Jays game. Okay, I understand the severity of it then. What else did Trump say? So, because of their serious misrepresentation of the facts and hostile act, I am increasing the tariff on Canada by 10% over and above what they are paying now. Thank you. Thank you so much. We love it. We love to be on the receiving end. And there is also this. Canada tried to influence our Supreme Court. An audio from Trump. There's not much they can do to get a deal anymore. Basically means that, yeah, we're not getting a deal. This was to be predicted, you know, based off this audio and just confirmed with, you know, that ad. And it's not like, apparently, you know, people are criticizing Trump. I seen tweets from Gavin Newsom, for example, saying, oh, Trump is just freaking out over an ad and basically putting tariffs on a country or whatever, you know, attacking a country like that. That's not right, Trump, is what Gavin Newsom says. But Trump had these remarks as well to say from before, by the way. I even see foreign countries that we're doing very well with taking ads don't go with tariffs. Last night I saw an ad from Canada. If I was Canada, I'd take that same ad also. So this was Trump on October 21st. Apparently the ad's been out for a while, right? When he didn't seem too bothered about the ad. So something must have happened between October 21st to the 23rd that led him to terminate trade talks with Canada. So it's probably not the ad that, you know, made Trump mad at Canada for whatever reason. It could have been another reason. And he's just using the ad as an excuse to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm pulling the plug. No more Canada trade deal. It's probably because we announced a strategic partnership with China. I don't think so, but I don't know. Could be the case. And of course, Mark Carney was just completely unaware and had no advance notice of the US tariff hike. It just, you know, was slapped on overnight, basically. Boom, you have a 10% tariff now. Enjoy. In the meantime, Mark Carney is off touring in Asia, pretending to build new trade alliances. Might be because of this, actually. As a relationship with the United States has never been worse. Canada is being systematically destroyed, and these people are acting like everything is fine. Okay, first of all, in Mark Carney's defense, I'm pretty sure everybody is in Asia right now because of what's coming up in this upcoming week, right? On another note, this move by Trump, it makes sense if he did, put these tariffs on Canada because of, this whole photo op of, yeah, we're starting to make trade alliances with Asian countries. Mainly the issue would be with China, right? There's that issue. And it's similar to what's going on with maybe Venezuela, right? Yeah, sure. Venezuela would be, the idea is Trump wants regime change over there in Venezuela. And we talked about this before, right? Over the fact that there is, drugs and the cartel war that's going on coming from Venezuela. Although most of the drug cartels don't really come from Venezuela, right? They would come from other South American, Central American countries. It's not just specifically Venezuela. They want regime change. They don't accept Nicolas Maduro as the president. They want, what's the lady who won Machado? The Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, she even got that, which should be symbolic of like, yep, we're definitely going forward with maybe a potential regime change for Venezuela. It's that. It's also the fact that Venezuela is, flirting with being allied with the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. People who are trying to move away from the US dollar. And, they could be considered enemies of America, right? The fact that they are in the American continent, because we're all just one big island here, it's going to basically be a threat in our own continent, which Trump does not want, right? So the best way to do it is to kick Maduro out and replace Maduro with somebody who is more willing to be more friendly with the United States. And then on top of that, you can, take advantage of the resources that they offer: gold, oil, natural gas, whatever the case may be. That's kind of my view on what's going on with Venezuela. And the fact that Canada is, with these tariffs that were initially put on, it seems like the first move was to go cry to Europe to make a strategic partnership with them. But now we're flirting with the idea of Asian countries as well, and that can involve China, and Trump does not want that. So, who knows? Speaking of China, we are still expecting a comprehensive deal with China, says Trump, and that comes from the U.S. Treasury official, Scott Bessent, saying that talks with China have concluded for Saturday, today, and they were very constructive. So the trade talks are, in effect, and the discussions are to resume Sunday morning. So tomorrow we'll continue getting updates on, whether or not we get some form of a trade deal. Hopefully, Trump will be meeting with Xi Jinping. That's still confirmed. Trump is in Asia right now. He is in Malaysia. Well, he is on his... This is footage of him on the flight over there answering reporters' questions. His opinion on Japan. He says, well, there's news that Japan's new right-wing prime minister, this lady, first lady, by the way, to be prime minister of Japan, Sanae Takaichi, is considering buying American Ford F-150 trucks. And President Trump can't wait to meet her, meaning that, well, I guess he will be meeting her. He said that, I've heard great things about her. I think she's going to be great. She was a great friend of Prime Minister Abe. Are we talking Abraham Lincoln? What? Is she that old? How old is was Abraham Lincoln? I know he's dead. Abraham Lincoln, 16th U.S. president. There's no way. 1865? Oh, PM Abe. Okay, this is a different person. Prime Minister, not President Abraham Lincoln. Okay, I am confusing my stuff. I don't know who PM Abe is. Who is this? Brother. Shinzo Abe is the former Prime Minister of Japan. Oh, I think I remember this guy. Didn't he survive an assassination attempt or something? Oh no, he got assassinated. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was assassinated. I remember this. This is on 2022. That's crazy. By the way, if you don't know, it's this man right over here. Get out of here. They're great trucks. Talking about the F-150s, of course. I will agree, they are good. That's great. She has good taste. That's a hot truck, says Trump. Nice. So, good stuff with Japan. And he was also asked if he would consider meeting Kim Jong-un during his Asia trip. Trump said that if he'd like to meet, I'm open to it. They have very little telephonic service, but he knows I'm coming, and yeah, I'd be open to it 100%, is what Trump says. Cool. It would be nice to... I don't know why it would be nice for them to meet up, but it would just be cool, again, because Trump was the only president, I think, that was able to meet with Kim Jong-un, like, in person, right? And kind of relax his little temper tantrums that he was having. This was back in the first administration from 2016 to 2020. So that was pretty cool. And if they meet up again, that would just be, adding on to the coolness. Anyways, where Trump was originally going to is to Malaysia right now. He will be signing the Great Peace Deal, which he proudly brokered between Cambodia and Thailand. You guys remember when that sudden war just broke out? It's been added, of course, by Trump proudly to the list of wars that he terminated, right? I think this one was by threatening tariffs. No, it was India and Pakistan by threatening tariffs. I forget what he did to end the Cambodia-Thailand war. I covered that previously on the channel as well. Anyways, he's going there to, sign the Great Peace Deal is what he says. Sadly, the Queen Mother of Thailand has just passed away, so he sends his condolences to the great people of Thailand. He will be seeing their beautiful, wonderful Prime Minister when we land. What am I doing? In order to accommodate everyone for this major event, we will be sending the peace deal immediately upon arrival. So see you soon. And indeed, he is there. And they were greeting him with dances, which is pretty cool. And Trump, of course, doing his classic YMCA dance or whatever it is. So cool. We have some confirmation on a subject that we did talk about before as well. I know I'm just like completely only talking about Trump right now, but there's just so much that's been going on with Trump. So he's taken the spotlight for tonight's stream. Hope you're okay with that. The donor who gave President Trump $130 million to pay the soldiers' salaries, the military, during the government shutdown has been identified as American banking empire heir Timothy Mellon, whatever. I don't know how to say it with the two L's. Million. So yeah, there you go. Leaked information coming at you live. Cool. Moving on to CZ, Changpeng Zhao. The Gemini co-founder, Tyler Winklevoss, says that Binance founder CZ, he deserved to get pardoned because his prosecution was politically motivated. And this was news I did not get to cover yesterday, but it's pretty much true. When it comes to, this lady over here, gosh, she is not gorgeous, am I right, fellas? Maxine Waters commented on CZ's pardon, saying that Trump is doing massive favors for crypto criminals who have helped line his pockets. Crypto criminals, huh? You don't say. Who are you photographed with right over here? Isn't this the biggest crypto criminal that we have over here? Sam Bankman-Fried, who is currently in jail. There was talks about, Trump maybe pardoning Sam Bankman-Fried. I'm pretty sure his parents also, requested Trump to pardon Sam Bankman-Fried. Which, if you don't know who this guy is, by the way, he's responsible for the biggest cryptocurrency exchange collapse. FTX is what it was called. And this happened in 2022, and it sparked a huge catalyst of what became the bear market for that year. Everything crashed. All altcoins were gone down the toilet. Everybody was scared to hold their money on exchanges because they didn't trust it. They thought, every exchange ever is going to fail now because of this one exchange. It was a really big one, to be fair, but people just lost their trust in crypto overall. So it was a huge L, and everybody got scared out of the markets. That's why market prices really dropped during that year, especially how, things were developing during that time. They caught him, with customer funds, doing fraudulent activities and spending the money for himself, spending people's money that was invested as his own money. So that's obviously not allowed. You're stealing. So he got jailed for that. And he was in the same jail cell as P. Diddy at one point. Anyways, seems like the pardon for Sam Bankman-Fried is not likely, and I'm pretty sure nobody hopes that he gets pardoned. So yeah, because he did scam us all, basically, and was responsible for 2 years of a bear market. Or maybe you could argue that's all cyclical, but hey, it was definitely a catalyst that sparked it, right? Biggest crashes in crypto was COVID, Sam Bankman-Fried to this man, the FTX collapse. Would you say Terra Luna was I don't think so. Terra Luna was just within its own ecosystem. Do Kwon, the collapse of that one. And then, of course, what happened literally 1 or 2 weeks ago, October 10, because of tariffs. Can you imagine that? I mean, every tariff that has been announced every time has crashed crypto markets. But for whatever reason, October 10 just happened to be the worst of the worst, and even surpassing, you know, worse fears than World War III, worse fears than COVID, than Sam Bankman-Fried. I don't know. The only good thing about it is that it was just a flash crash. It just happened immediately. Sure, everybody got liquidated and lost millions, myself included. I didn't lose millions. I just lost money. We already recovered from all that, so it's not a big deal at this point, and I'm pretty sure we all know how to make our money back. Right, guys? Anyways. So here she is being hypocritical, this lady. I forgot her name already. Maxine Waters. And CZ counterattacked with the statements, the people who were aggressive against me were all Sam Bankman-Fried supporters. You know, Gary Gensler, the previous sec chair, Elizabeth Warren, this insufferable old lady, and Maxine Waters, even being photographed with the man himself. Shots fired indeed. So, yep. Huge W for CZ. It's crazy. I don't know if we should support this guy, CZ, because he did do money laundering, but it's not a big deal, is it? I don't know. Anyways, guys, if you don't know, he is the financial advisor, crypto advisor for Kyrgyzstan. I'm able to pronounce that name correctly. This country called Kyrgyzstan. He gave us some updates today as to what's been going on in the past couple of months after he was, you know, sworn in as the crypto advisor or whatever. He's also the same thing for Pakistan too, which I don't think we heard any updates yet from Pakistan, but anyways, back to Kyrgyzstan. The national stablecoin was launched on Binance chain. The central bank digital currency is ready for rollout. Yes, both CBDC will be used for government-related payments, etc. I don't know if I fully agree with CBDC, but I mean, you're adopting the blockchain as a government or as an institution, so sure. The National Cryptocurrency Reserve set up. Binance included. What? Okay, there's a National Cryptocurrency Reserve that has been set up, and BNB is included in that. There we go. LE training. All right, you got me here. What is LE? Hold on. It is police. What? Let me put crypto. I'm typing with one hand. Just bear with me. Why is it? I'm getting answers in French. Look at this. Like they're. Le crypto trading. Qu'est-ce que c'est le crypto trading sur crypto-monnaies et comment? Whatever. No. I'm literally getting answers in French. Yeah, okay, so I'm not stupid. CZ is stupid. What is LE training, brother? Binance Academy with top 10 universities. Binance app is fully localized in Kyrgyzstan. Binance meetup in Bishkek with more than 1,000 participants. Also proud to have brought ETH sign to work with Kyrgyzstan. They did a good job. YZI Labs, I don't know what these are, is a minority investor. We'd like to provide real strategic value in addition to just investing in money. He had a good time in there the past 2 days. He encourages more crypto companies to explore the country too. Binance founder toots crypto as strategic tool for finance and governance in Kyrgyzstan. Cool, I guess. Good updates. You guys remember the Satoshi statue that was stolen, shattered, and found in a river a couple days later in Sweden or Switzerland, I think? Well, it's back in Lugano, wherever Lugano is. Is that Sweden? Let me find out the country. It's in Switzerland. Yeah, so it was Switzerland. Beautiful view, by the way. Switzerland is such a beautiful country. They finally rebuilt the Satoshi statue, the Bitcoin creator. And yeah, it's there again. Some thieves stole it and were being a little malicious with it. I love how the view looks. You know, it basically is supposed to be transparent, and then it's a good design. But yeah, they rebuilt it. It's there. The Japanese art of repairing broken pottery. The scars have been painted in orange as a symbol of the resilience and anti-fragility of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Cool. So all this orange stuff that you see here was reparations. We are all Satoshi. Thanks for supporting us. It was magical. So there you go. It was a big reopening of the statue being back there. Cool, good. We love to see that. My last bit of news for tonight is this. YouTube rival Rumble, if you don't know, it's basically another video streaming platform. They announced Bitcoin tipping for its 50 million users. Awesome. I might switch to Rumble. YouTube, do not ban me or censor me or none of that. But no, Rumble, like, especially the CEO of Rumble, from what I know, he's really pro, like, Tether. He has, like, a partnership with Rumble and Tether. I'm pretty sure Rumble has a stock, right? Am I mistaken? Pretty sure they have a stock. And I'm pretty sure it's a rum. Yes, I'm so right. Don't know what that's about. But yeah, they'll be integrating Bitcoin donations, which would be cool. Bitcoin tipping, fine. And remember, guys, there's no tax on tips. Just saying. I think, I don't even know. But yeah, that would be cool. If I was to multi-stream, I would multi-stream YouTube, Rumble. Would I do Twitch? I guess I could. Yeah, Twitch. Also X, you can live stream on X, Twitter. Maybe on Pump Fun, but I'd have to create my own meme coin to enable live streaming. I don't know. I've heard, you know, TikTok would be good as well, but how am I going to stream, you know, this horizontal layout on a vertical screen? I'm pretty sure nobody's going to want to watch that. But we'll see. I don't know. These are all, you know, plans for the future, and I still have to figure that out, right? I'm just being so lazy right now. I'm completely out of time at this point on how to multi-stream or whatever. But yeah, those are all plans for the future, if you care at all. Moving on. No, moving on. That's it. That's the end of the stream. Great. Perfect. We had good ground to cover there, so hope you guys learned something. Thanks, of course, for sticking through it all. Thanks so much for watching. What's going on next? So Sunday we'll see what comes up with those US-China officials and their discussions. Probably not much. The main expectation would be, you know, the meeting on October 30th between Xi Jinping and Donald Trump. October 29, Wednesday, we're getting rate cuts, which that's guaranteed. That should already be priced into the markets. Nobody's going to be surprised when we get the rate cuts because it's already to be expected. So don't only expect volatility toward the downside if we do not get the rate cut, which that's not going to happen. Don't worry. And if you want to bet, you do that on Polymarket or Kalshi. If you don't think we're getting any rate cuts. No, but I wouldn't advise. I would advise against that. Yeah. Bitcoin's on the rise. You know, we got a trend reversal for Bitcoin overall. So from here on forward, I think it's safe to say we have bottomed out by now. Only the trade deal could really screw things up, and, you know, getting those tariffs imposed on November 1st, that would be a Saturday. And like I've said this before, crypto markets will suffer if they do get implemented. But I think we'll probably all know beforehand. Like, even the stock market might react depending on the outcome of the meeting on October 29th. It's like, yeah, we're cooked. Trump and Xi Jinping did not set up a meeting, so it's over. I accidentally said Putin. Putin meeting will not be happening anymore, by the way. That is all. Okay, guys. Make sure you subscribe. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, have a great rest of your evening. Bye.